Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee, Chapter 37. When we last left our heroes, Sachi, after deciding she would get into Megurogawa, Nagi, and Erika's school, had to go back home and tell her parents, and found them unexpectedly supportive, but for not reasons that Sachi would like, because they decided they would just sell the store if they had to support Sachi. And that kind of rubbed Sachi the wrong way. Led to a big fight, and then Erika kind of calmed the fight down, but like I brought up last time, nothing was really settled in last chapter. So yeah, all that being said, let's jump right on into chapter 37. On our picture here, we have a 37th foul. Oh yeah? I don't know if I like that. On our, Instagram style picture here is Erika lying on a bed, and so we find that the value of love, L, is irrational. Sachi shows up at the crew's school. There's definitely something special in store. So yeah, kind of teased last week. We're getting a bit of like a campus visit from Sachi. And we open with the line, a campus visit? Yep, I was thinking about going to check out your school tomorrow. And Erika, we see the gang like lounging around in their pajamas. And Erika excitedly, you should totally come. I can show you around. And Nagi stops her. You barely know your way around campus. All right, that's a good line. It's a waste of time. If you're already planning on going to Megurogawa, there's no point. And we see Nagi's. Despite last time Nagi kind of claiming he was supportive of Sachi, here he seems to be like putting a damper on her. Maybe it's just about the campus visit. Maybe he's trying to delay an encounter between Sachi and Hiro for as long as he can. Last chapter did tease that we'd be getting a Sachi Hiro scene this week. But I don't know. Anyway, Sachi counters, yes there is. Well, what exactly is the point then? Image training. I'll be picturing myself commuting to Megurogawa. And then we see Erika and Sachi both off on like Cloud 9. On the way to school with my little sister. And Nagi looks at them. You're both crazy. And then Sachi comes back down to reality. But I'll have to see my brother being a downer at school if I go. That sucks. Now she's just being an ass. And Nagi tells her, shut up. And then Sachi goes upstairs. Well, I should get to bed early for tomorrow. Night. And Nagi, after she leaves, Nagi says, she's seriously going to come? And Erika looks at him confused. So what? She's getting serious about high school. That's a good thing. But Nagi replies, it's not that. I don't know how to put it. It's weird. But lately, it's like, it feels sort of like she isn't my little sister. Oh no. Oh, I don't want to go down this road tonight, Yoshikawa. Don't make me do this. Maybe it's like he thinks that she's acting like someone else and not like the Sachi he knows, but I don't have that kind of faith in a Sachi plotline. And Erika asks, how do you mean? Well, she's been doing whatever she wants lately. Up until recently, and then Nagi kind of pauses there, which lets Erika's mind wander. Oh, I get it. You finally realize she's my little sister. That's not it. And then we come to Megurogawa, where Sachi is here for her campus visit. And all of the students are like gossiping over her. Did you see that girl checking out our school? She's so cute. I saw. She was adorable, and she's wearing a sailor uniform. You never guessed she's still in middle school. Do you think she'll come here next year? And we see, Sachi there. And Nagi and Erika are like looking behind the wall. There's already a fuss. You go, Sachi-chan. That's my little sister. And then we hear someone's voice. Wah, I'm in love, dude. Like, is she even real? But Erika-chan's the girl for me. Oh, it's that guy. It's the guy from the field trip. And Nagi asks Erika, haven't we seen him somewhere? I think so. And then the guy whose name I can't remember thinks to himself, come to think of it, they look alike, right? They couldn't be, like, sisters. And Nagi kind of, like, quietly, it's bizarre how keen his instincts are. Creepy. Then we see Sachi with a little card in her hand, I think, like, looking around campus. Is Sachi gonna be alright? She's done nothing but stand around. And Erica responds, she's probably waiting for someone, right? Like a guide or something. A guide? I have a bad feeling about this. Oh, it's gonna be Hiro. Hey, I'm here. And yep, there's Hiro. Sorry for being late. You're Umino Sachi-san, right? That's me. Let's start from scratch. I'll be your guide. Say go Hiro. And, nice to meet ya. It's nice to meet you too. So yeah, Hiro's they're kind of like erasing, all of the, like, starting over. Not acting like, friend of my brother's and brother of my, or sister of my friend, but like strangers here. But Nagi's like freaking out. Ah, no! And Erica just looks at him a little confused. Where did that come from? At least her guy's not a total stranger. I mean, Sachi-chan must be really nervous. And Nagi just tells her, that's not it. That's not it at all. I just know she's going to tell her about all the hilarious things I do. Like how I grind my teeth when I sleep, or like how I sing in the bathtub. And Erica tries to calm him down. There's way worse stuff she could tell her. Nuh-uh. Yeah. And honestly, this panel alone kind of brings up my recurring theme of how much they are written like siblings, and why the Sachi ship just does not work. Because they are written, like, that's a sibling thing to do. Tell your siblings crush embarrassing stories about them, that's a sibling move. And I mean, maybe you could read it as a romantic rival thing, but specifically, it just feels like the kind of thing a sibling does. So yeah, again, trying to even if we know it's not going to end up canon in the end, even suggesting Nagi Sachi as a ship just feels out of character for both of them. But I'll try to keep my Nagi Sachi hating to a minimum-ish tonight. Anyway, moving on. Well, whatever. We need to stop her before she runs her mouth. After them! Erica surprised. What? Nagi-kun? And then we cut in with the tour. Alright, let's go here next. This is the private study room. At our school, it's basically always available. And Sachi looks around. Nagi told me about this. The study room is like his home away from home. And Hiro responds, yeah, I'm really able to focus in here. Our school is pretty relaxed in several respects, but when it comes to academics, they really hound you. And then she kind of stops herself. Oh, you must have already heard that from your brother, right? And Sachi nods. I see it in action every day. And we see Nagi kind of like exhausted, and Erica's just kind of watching. And Nagi says, they're getting along surprisingly well. Yeah, totally. They've got a real mentoring vibe. Or maybe it's a sisterly vibe. What? Okay, that's a thing. And Nagi kind of freezes. I see. You think so, I guess we can rest easy then. And Erica kind of looks at him confused. What? I sort of just said that in the moment. And then Nagi notices something. Oh, and they vanished. What? Where did they go? Damn, we lost them! And he's sort of like freaking out, and then Erica calls him over. Nagi-kun, over there. And we see that they've somehow made it all the way downstairs in that really short conversation. The courtyard? And then we cut to them. As Sachi looks around. Oh, is this where you eat lunch? Yep, we hang out and chat here too. Awesome. I can just picture it. And Hiro, I think she writes something down on her clipboard. Not entirely sure what she writes down. But anyway, then she says, well, that concludes the tour. Do you have any questions or concerns? And Sachi raises her hand. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Sachi-san, you have a question? She's gonna say something about Nagi here. 'Cause there's a bit of a pause as Hiro nods. And we cut in with Nagi and Erika. What are they talking about? I can't hear a thing. Hiro-san, what do you think of my brother? And Hiro pauses for a moment. I'm sorry? I wasn't expecting a personal question. And then Hiro pauses for a moment before continuing. Truth be told, I have a fiance. Oh, she's just like laying it all out for Sachi here. But Umino-kun interests me, I think. Um, okay. This is a full, like, you can see just by the attention to detail Yoshikawa gives to this full page panel. This is one of those important lines. Um, but also at a certain point we have to meet the fiance, right? Like the fiance has been teased since like chapter 3. At a certain point we gotta meet the guy. I don't know. And Sachi like freezes up for a moment, and then her face like turns dark. Oh yeah, I don't know if I like that. Uh, all right, that's a statement. Meanwhile, with Nagi and Erika, who completely cannot hear this conversation, what could she be saying? I have no idea. But somehow, and then she looks at Sachi's face. It doesn't look good. Nagi seemingly goes off to go down to the courtyard. Wait, Nagi-kun! And without being able to stop, Erika is unable to stop him as he bursts into the courtyard. Seiguo-san! Sachi! The two of them look at him. Umino-kun? Nagi? What are you two talking about? The two of them look at each other and then turn to him. It's none of your business, Nagi, but I think we're going to get along great. That's not what I gathered from that line. Back on page 16. Unless there's some more to the conversation that we don't see. I don't know. And then we cut to somewhere else with, I think that's the Hiro fanboys? The Icarus guys? Oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh dear, it can't be. Our boy Umino. And we see him eating lunch at like a picnic table with Sachi, Erika, and Hiro. Eating lunch surrounded by maidens 3, and in the courtyard like a normie. A man who once thought a comrade, in truth a backstabber. God, these guys are so weird. But wait, this scene. Is this how it begins? This cast of characters surrounding our Icarus, our Mitsuhide Akachi. Could it be this is a harem, and he is the protagonist? How enviable! I'm glad that we're being very open about the fact that this is a harem manga. Even if I don't like their Sachi assumptions. However, such great riches carry an even greater price. Chaos begets chaos. Not all his days will be filled with joy. Where leads his future? To heaven or hell? Before he realizes it, the day will come when he must make a choice. And then we see one last shot of Nagi like eating something, and it seems to be going down kind of weird, and all 3 of the girls are kind of like worrying over him. Except Hiro is just kind of laughing. Is this the calm before the storm? Next time, a new challenger approaches the love quadrangle. The study camp begins. Okay. So, this was a fun chapter. I'm going to save that final moment for a bit discussion in a minute. But before that, let's talk about the actual tour. First of all, we have the return of What's-His-Face from the field trip. I don't remember his name at all. That happens from time to time. But, it's got some good gags of I love Nagi's, oh my god, what if she tells her all the embarrassing things that siblings know? But also it's the kind of thing that just, again, the writing feels kind of not quite, tone deaf isn't quite the word I'm going for, but it also is kind of the vibe here. Of like, in one hand, they're portrayed in such a sibling manner. You know, you read any of their scenes, except for explicit, shitbait scenes, and you're like, oh, they're siblings. That is exactly what siblings are like. Yoshikawa clearly has a sibling, and she knows this shit. I don't know if she does or not, but you know what I mean. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, but there's some ship bait going on, and you're like, these two sides of their relationship just do not mesh, not even vaguely. And I will die on this hill. Like, I've been getting into The Flash, and thinking about, Iris and Barry and that show, and they're also kind of, adoptive siblings, and there are distinctive differences in the two dynamics, in that Barry was adopted by the Wests, when he was like 10, and he was like crushing on Iris beforehand, but that ship is very much played as like, their relationship is very much played as like, childhood friends, childhood crushes, or his childhood crush, you know what I mean. And that, that kind of like friend zone cliche permeates all of their scenes. Meanwhile, with Nagi and Sachi, a very distinctly sibling type of bond permeates all of their scenes. So it just doesn't really work. With that being said, we see once again that Hiro is just very forthcoming about the whole fiancé thing. Which might just be because she is an Umino. She's, Sachi and Nagi and Erika's sister. It's not like some stranger she's telling. But it is a little funny how easily Hiro shares this information. But then it turns out they do get along great. So I do think there is a little more to that conversation we don't hear, and I'm kind of curious if we will ever find out more of it. Because I just don't see the connection from, oh yeah, I don't know if I like that, to, I think we're going to get along great. So I think there is a little more that happened there that we may or may not find out more about. But then there's the Icarus guys. And they have this very, very over-the-top conversation here that feels like it's ripped from, like, a shonen battle manga. But, like, or, like, in tone, but, like, it's specifically tailored for the harem setup. And so that's a good gag here. But there is one thing that I want to point out before I even think about a new challenger approaches that whole shit. The thing is that I've noted before that unlike the typical harem manga that's infamous for like dragging its feet on every plot line to, keep the series going as long as possible, I noticed that Cuckoo's Fiancee is so fast. We're 9 months into the series, and almost every secret has been revealed. Everyone knows everything. I compare a lot to Nisekoi and how the truth of Raku and Jitoge's relationship stays a secret for so long. Here, the nature of the fiancéhood is just out in the open, really early. The things we don't know are, like, who Hiro's fiancé is, and the person Erika is trying to reach by social media. We don't know those two things, but beyond that, there aren't a whole lot of secrets going on. And that's kind of, and so we have this line here: the day will come when he must make a choice, which is the thing that every harem protagonist eventually has to do. And so it does kind of bring up, this is not a series that's dragging its feet, is what I'm getting at. It's very fast, which gives it a bit of a short shelf life. But also makes it better in the end, I'd argue. So yeah, that's chapter 37. A lot of good here. Again, the Sachi, this isn't even a chapter that brings up the Sachi relationship, but like the Sachi sibling bond is just so clear cut that it makes the notion of a relationship ridiculous. But beyond that, the chapter is a lot of fun. And then yeah, there's gonna be someone here to upset our simple harem days. So yeah, so I have to say for this video, hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!